What's up, Girl Scouts? It's your boy AO. We back with another video. As the title indicates, we are taking our first impressions of Flash. We're going to look at Flash. She's the newest hero basically in the game. I have not looked at her. I don't know her skills. I don't even know what she looks like. Well, obviously I just saw. Let's give a first impression. Then I'm going to go and do a bunch of research, do some... She's not out yet in the pool, even in the older states, but usually somebody has a bunch of copies of these heroes somehow through magic luck. We'll see how well she does. I will post a basically statistically analyzed version of her, give you guys that review. Here you have the first impression, the I guess feeling view, the on paper view. We'll see how that matches up with the kind of actual data, and we'll move from there. So let's get right into it. Flash Margaret, ranged archer, so back row archer, or back row shooter. I still don't know why they don't call this shooter, and they call it like melee. It's all very strange. They call vehicles. I don't know why they don't just call archer shooters, but whatever. So let's just make sure, yeah, her first ability is the same as always. I'm still looking for a hero that has a different first ability, or third or fourth, or even like their seventh. If their seventh is like a skill or something, I'm still looking for that innovation. Even if it sucks, it would be pretty cool. Like, let's just say their first ability is 50,000 marching capacity or something like that. Something interesting. And then obviously their skills would be a little bit worse to kind of balance it out. So I am still looking for that. I'm 30 less shelter. Come on, you guys can do better. So her second ability, static electricity, combat skill, effective range of 5. So back row. She targets 2 random enemy squads. Okay, that's important. 100% chance to deal 270% damage to 2 random enemy squads. So as always, you can multiply that by the number of enemy squads. So 540 in this case. And transfer 8% of their damage bonus to 2% of your squads. Oh, to 2 of your squads stackable, effective till the battle ends. Okay, so this is interesting. Let's break this down real quick. So 540 damage every single round. That's actually pretty good damage, especially on a shooter unit, especially if you're going up against a vehicle, for example. That's good damage. That's not nothing. This transfer 8% of their damage bonus to 2 of your squads stackable. Now this is interesting. I'm not really sure why it says their damage bonus, because this implies that that hero would need to have a damage bonus to begin with. So something like literally Kung Fu Master or Ivan or any of those heroes, even someone like Nomad. A lot of heroes do have damage bonuses, but not every single hero. So I'm not sure if this implies that you need something like that. You need a buff, or if it's going to take just damage in general. Doesn't really matter. 8% to 2 of your squads, basically 16% extra damage every single round, stackable. That's huge. By the end of the battle, basically, if she is still alive, that's going to be a lot of extra damage. A lot. Transfer generally means you take from the enemy as well, and apply it. So not only is the enemy going to be dealing less damage, the team with Flash is going to be dealing more damage. So it's basically a win-win, or like a double scenario. Her third, resistance might, okay, so nothing special. Again, I would like to see some special, but whatever. Her fifth ability, tactical counterattack, combat skill, effective range of 5. Again, back row. 100% chance to make 1 random enemy squad have 50% less chance to cast skills and copy one of their combat skills randomly. Wow. 100% chance to cast the copied skills. Wow, this is crazy. This is good. I like this. This is new. This is very, very new. So 100% chance, so every single round basically, unless she's CC'd, to make 1 random enemy squad have 50% less chance to cast skills. This is huge. There are some skills that are less than 50% chance. So that's pretty crazy. The way that the numbers work in this game is these chance, and the percentages don't always mean an actual percentage. So like it could just decrease it by a literal 50% chance, or it could decrease it by a literal 50. So if it's a 40% chance and she decreases by 50, that means you now have a 0% chance. If it was a 70% chance, you now have 20. I don't know. We'll have to see. You can never really know based on what they put, because they put percent after everything. So we'll have to find out. I would assume that it is an actual percentage number, so it's a 50% chance less. So if the enemy squad's chance is 60%, tactical counterattack is used upon that enemy, it is now going to be 30%. That's what I'm assuming. We don't know. We'll find out. The second part of this is even more interesting. Copies one of their combat skills randomly, and then there is a 100% chance to cast that skill. Meaning if it is something like Hummingbird's 8th ability, where it's a 2-turn prep and does 500 bazillion damage, this is insane. You're taking that ability and instantly casting it. You technically, I mean, obviously this would never happen, but if they are up against each other, technically you could use her 8th ability, Hummingbird's 8th ability, every single round, which is just absolutely ridiculous. There are skills that are only used on like rounds 1, 5, and 7, or like 3, 5, and 7, you know, things like that. This is going to cast through that. This skill is insane. You could take something like Check Priestess's Confusion, or, you know, just amazing skills. You could take them and instantly cast them, or you could take some kind of crap and it's sort of useless. So very cool. Key point here, if your wheels are turning like mine right now when listening to this or reading this, it is combat skills only, so you're not going to be taking buffs or any like prep skills. A lot of times prep skills are really good. You're not going to be taking any of those. It's strictly combat skills, and then you immediately just shoot them back at the opponent. Still really good. I love this. This has so much play. We'll see how good it is, because again, it really depends. You know, per matchup, it's really going to depend. If the rest of her kit is good, her second ability and 5th ability right now are definitely good enough to be a solid hero, but factoring in that kind of RNG, that luck chance, might just edge her out. So far, I'm very excited. Her 6th ability, HP plus 15. Okay, very strange. I don't know why we're putting HP on ranged heroes and damage on melee heroes. It's backwards, but whatever. HP plus 15, sure. 7th ability, 40% might. That's what we expect from a hero like this, but again, we would expect damage. And then her 8th ability, Swift Moves, a prep skill, so round 0 activated in the beginning of the battle. Always. There is no way that it doesn't get activated. It will always get activated. Effective range of 2. Gains 1 dodging buff as each round starts, and adds a Swift Moves mark to the hero squad, lasting until the hero casts a skill in the subsequent round. When the mark disappears, restores 50% of the troop power lost while the mark was effective. Okay, so dodging is generally like an evasion. So somebody like Heaven's Redemption has dodges, or Wanderer, like literally Wanderer, who there was a period of time where Wanderer was kind of not a troll. But anyway, that's kind of what dodging means. Dodging is evasion, so if you get attacked, it just misses, basically. We don't know how effective that dodge is. It literally says nothing, so it could be 100%, or it could be 1% to dodge. We have no idea. It's kind of annoying that they don't specify here. They just say gains 1 dodging buff. Potentially this can even stack. I don't really know. It doesn't really make any sense to me. We'll have to actually see this in practice, because they're giving us literally no information. But they also, there's this whole convoluted paragraph here, adds a Swift Moves mark to the hero squad, lasts till the hero casts a skill, blah blah blah. That's all some random crap. Basically what this means is, in the very beginning of every single round, so let's just say it's round 1, she has this buff on her, this Swift Moves buff. Any damage that is taken before she casts her skill on round 1, she will restore 50% of that troop power. Now, this is very important when you talk about something like combat speed. Shooters or archers, whatever, don't have the most combat speed. Vehicles basically always have the most combat speed. And I mean, there are some heroes that have increased combat speed. But generally speaking, vehicles always go first, then shooters, then fighters, if I remember correctly. Meaning, if you're going up against a vehicle squad, this is pretty important. You're going to be healing a lot of the damage. If you're not, and if you're on attack, the other thing to mention when we're talking about combat speed and who attacks first, the attacker is always going to be attacking before the defending units if you have the same combat speed. Furthermore, the position that the hero is in affects the order of attacks. So if you were in the front row and you have, let's say everybody on the field has 500 combat speed, which is way more than anybody has. But let's just say all 6 heroes have 500 combat speed. The attacking front row hero is going to attack first. Right? Everybody has the same exact movement speed. The attacking front row hero is going to attack first. The attacking second row hero is going to attack second. The attacking third, or person in the back, is going to attack third. And then the same thing, but for the defending unit, or the defending squad. So if she is on defense, and she's in the back row, being that she's a shooter, she's going to have less combat speed than most. So this is pretty good. This is pretty good. If you're on attack, this is a little bit worse. It's not as important, basically because you're always going to be attacking, and you're basically not going to restore much because you wouldn't have taken a lot of damage. So, yeah. Long story short, this is better on defense than offense. It still could be pretty good on both, to be honest. Restoring 50% of any troop power lost is really nice. And again, it will just depend on combat speed. For against vehicles, this is great. Very, very good. So, yeah. We'll see how this works. I like it. I hate the gain 1 dodging buffs thing here. We'll just say how much evasion. Say how much evasion there is. So if this is like 50% evasion, I mean, this is insane. If it's 1%, it's meaningless. So we'll have to see. However, we do know that this is going to synergize fairly well with heroes that need like dodges. So that's cool. So overall, let's give her rating, and then we'll talk about some supposed APCs that I can see her running with. I think it's really cool. I think her 5th ability is awesome. I would love to see battles with this hero. Doing battles with this hero, testing out this hero, would be very, 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 very difficult because it is very dependent on who she attacks, which skill she takes, when in the match, how often, etc., etc. It would be almost impossible to actually test this hero in a complete white box scenario. So you really have to just go through and simulate an aggregate hundreds and hundreds of battles in order to actually get kind of the full effect of tactical counterattack. It could suck in a lot of battles, or it could be really, really good. So it's very, very hard to say on this hero. Honestly, very, very difficult to say on this hero. Please, I would love to know your guys' impressions of her. This is one of those heroes that I could say one thing. I could say I think she's a 5 out of 5. Someone else could say she's a 1 out of 5. And neither of us would necessarily be correct. She might be a 3 out of 5, you know? So I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this. Let me know in the comments, please. I'm going to go ahead and say, because she is a shooter, and shooters are weaker, generally speaking, than fighters and vehicles, oftentimes, that I don't think she's going to be that OP. I think if she was like a fighter, for example, I think she would be really, really good. I think the fact that she's a shooter isn't great, but I do actually think her skills are good enough where I'm going to give her a 4 out of 5. We're going to give her a 4 out of 5. However, I'm not really sure if that's going to be true. I could be very, very wrong in this hero. She could be absolutely terrible. Now, APCs that I think she would go with. This is the tough one because honestly, I don't know. I feel like she can go in a lot of combos, basically any combo in the back row. And she's kind of just there to do a lot of stuff. It's weird that she's considered, like she's not even considered a support. She's transferring damage bonuses to other teammates, so you want another carry. You know, you want another carry with her. It doesn't have to be a shooter hero, but somebody who does a lot of damage, you kind of want to stack with her because of static electricity. She can do pretty much anything with tactical counterattack. And then theoretically, she's not going to be a glass cannon because of swift moves, because she has evasions, because she can restore her own HP. So I really think she has almost like limitless APCs, which at the same time means her APCs are probably very limited because, again, she might not be good at all. So I don't know. This one is very hard, which I love. I love the fact that they're adding something new. Finally, this fifth ability is something new that we haven't seen before, and we don't really know how it's going to play out. I'm pretty excited to see some of the combos that people come up with. Glowblade is somebody that's coming to mind. You know, to pair up with Flash, even like Diver Glowblade. Flash, for example, could be pretty good, but who knows? That's probably the APC that I'm just thinking of like immediately is Diver Glowblade Flash. I guess we will see, though. Maybe some of these newer heroes, but you know, I'm not sure. I'm not sold on that. I think Diver Globally Flash is kind of one that I would like to play around with. It might be absolutely terrible. Maybe Scorpion. You know, I'm not really sure. We'll kind of have to see. There's a ton of heroes that she can go with, realistically, and I think this one will take a while to figure out. I don't really think initial battles are going to like determine it. I think a lot of people will look at initial battles and see like, oh, this is terrible, but then as more data and more battles come out, we'll kind of be able to determine a little more. So that is my long-winded review on Flash, my long-winded first impression. Oh, I didn't talk about her looks, which is the most important thing. So she has like an electric whip, which is kind of reminiscent of an Iron Man villain. I forget his name. He was even in a movie, in one of the Iron Man or whatever Avenger movies. Whiplash. So yeah, her electric whip is kind of like Whiplash, but she also has this little weird little tiny gun, little stun gun thing, I'm assuming. Don't know. As far as the character design goes, pretty cool. I don't know who she is, like if she's from, you know, all of these heroes are basically copy pasted from mass media. If she is somebody, let me know. I would love to look it up. I'm sure like the hair and stuff is reminiscent of some other character, but I like the design. I'm a fan of the design. As we know, the females in the pool, the attractive females in the pools are always OP, at least on launch. So I have a good feeling about Flash. We shall see. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you haven't missed me too much. If you want any content, if you want Last Shelter content or anything, if there's a new game mode you want me to dive into, whatever, let me know. I do have some more time now, thankfully, and I will have for the remainder of the year to get back into the swing of things. So please just let me know in the comments. Reach out to me at Discord. Reach out to me wherever. I don't really have Line anymore, so Line's kind of ineffective, but Discord certainly. And see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Peace.
Wake up, early mornings, late nights, hopping on a different flight. What's the meaning of life, ayy? Wake up, same-ish, different day. Make a wish, call it pray. Am I sick, am I okay, ayy? Stay up.